Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, RFK Refugees Podcast. Ted here, John here, talking DC United, Washington Spirit, U.S. men's, women's national team, soccer, anything soccer. I think we're all doing soccer all the time. John, my friend, how was your weekend? Hope it was good, other than the sadness on Saturday.
Filled with soccer. Sunday redeemed it a little bit.
Yeah,
Sunday's ending kind of redeemed Saturday's ending also. But another week, another podcast. We're gonna have a mixed bag here of stuff to talk about. So that's I guess that's good. It could have been all bad things, and that's not what we have.
Yep, it could have been all bad. The Sunday did redeem itself. The Spirit. I watched I guess I had to go out. It's my dad's birthday. He wanted to go to a Blue Ridge tunnel. It's like the Blue Ridge Tunnel out in Waynesboro, and hit up a brewery afterwards. So I went there for him. So I caught like the second half of the Washington Spirit game.
Happy birthday, Ted's dad. Also, happy birthday, producer Brian, for this weekend.
Yes, producer Brian was yesterday. My dad is today. So happy birthday to my dad if he is watching. I'm sure he'll listen to the podcast, so I'm sure he'll hear that. But yeah, so we did that and watched the second half, and then a great game then, and then the Kickers also got a 2-0 victory. So that was fun. Went out to 3-notch, so I figured I'd rep them to bring some joy and some spirit before we get into a little bit of sadness with DC. But I wanted to start the show rather than going before we get into the games. I think we had a couple things we wanted to bring off of what we normally talk about. The interesting thing that came across my plate is Konami's eFootball, which apparently is going to be free to play. It's saying it's launching in autumn, sort of as basically a demo. They're only going to have a few teams to play, but it's free to play. But they announced they have acquired the license, not the MLS license, but of the Players Association. So they have the license to basically have the players. So I'm curious as to what that means for the game. The big knock against Pro Evolution or now eFootball or eFootball and all that stuff is it's you always have sort of the weird teams like Merseyside Red, Merseyside Blue, MLS, but American soccer has not been represented. There's also apparently news coming out that I believe in the Athletic article that talked about USL, ProRel, and sort of moving the season, that they were in advanced talks with Konami to put USL in there. So if you get USL, if you get some non-real teams, we'll say you get Washington football team or something like that, and throw that into the game.
That's stolen. You can't use that. That's taken.
Yeah, Dan Snyder might have a problem with that.
Right. Someone gets sued.
You could call it the Galacticos and do the Galaxy, or or it'll probably be something like LA Yellow and LA Black or something like that. Will be what you'll see. Maybe DC, Washington DC Reds or Black and Reds. Who knows? Who knows what crazy games will come up? But I think this is interesting. I think this is, part of my frustration with FIFA and why I didn't buy it is because it has the MLS license in there. It's the only game other than, I guess, Football Manager that's sort of fully licensed, but they never seem to represent MLS well. There's couple stadiums seem like they add like one stadium every year. When you play career mode, it's nothing like what you would see in managing an actual MLS team. So I think this is interesting to see what Konami can bring. Maybe they can figure out a way to better replicate it. The Open Cup won't just be MLS teams; it'll be actual USL teams in there. So I'm kind of interested in it.
Give me a Champions League too. I'm looking for that. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this before. Let me pay you more money for all the things that I want.
Yeah.
Like, just how much more could it cost you to develop these other? I don't know. It should seem like marginal cost. Something that they should do for sure.
That takes away from their ultimate team. That's how it works. So
I'm talking about now on eFootball where it's free to play. Like, I feel like this is an opportunity here to. It's like a loot crate type situation. You buy, you don't know who you get, but you get a new league. It costs $15. You could be getting the Finnish third division, or you could be getting NWSL. Who knows?
Yeah.
Also, NWSL will be in this game, correct? I believe that's our. I think that's correct. I think there'll be women's teams as well. Not this year, but the following year.
Is that? I know Football Manager. I hadn't heard about eFootball bringing that into there.
I could be wrong.
You could be wrong, but it's interesting to see because I think it's interesting from a concept of just changing up. I mean, yeah, for a while, PES eFootball has always been kind of to the side. Now, anyone hoping? I think I was in some chat with some DC fans about this news and everything, and they're like, "Oh, maybe MLS will sign up with eFootball." I don't think that's happening. They are hook, line, and sinker with EMLS, and playing on FIFA. FIFA is the more popular game, probably going to sell the most copies, all that stuff. So. Is it Dazed Porpoise 97 says, I thought that was Football Manager. Football Manager, I know, is looking to bring women's soccer into there, so that'll be interesting. I'm definitely trying to. I'm watching Zealand on YouTube to get up on Football Manager. I'm trying to learn how to play the game.
Good.
It is intense.
Ted, I opened it up one time and I was like, oh no, too much. Not for me at all. So if Ted figures it out, Ted will stream it on Twitch. And,
yes.
That'll be cool.
I got some good things. Would you guys watch me? Like, I was thinking, like, the cool thing to do would be to take over DC next year and do like me versus Lasada each week, play a match and see like how much better I can do at a video game, mind you, not in the real life. How much better I could do than Hernan Lasada.
I'm for it. Let's do it.
Let's be fun.
That sounds great.
It'd be fun. But John, you had some news. Go ahead, jump into your news.
Just sort of, I think two things. One of this is not necessarily soccer related yet, but I think it will be. Topps, who has made baseball cards forever, for my entire lifetimes 2 or 3, was previously the MLB rights holder for baseball cards. So other companies could produce cards, but sometimes they would have no logos on the jerseys. It was stupid, basically. It was dumb. You could do it, but I would never buy them. But the weird part here is Fanatics won the right to have the MLB baseball card license. Fanatics, if you remember, the company that now owns pretty much every web presence for merch for every sport, basically, is Fanatics. MLS is Fanatics. European, I know I ordered some stuff from Chelsea's Megastore. That's Fanatics UK. They're everywhere. They make their own in-house brand, and what they do there is they're giving these leagues equity shares in the organization in order to basically get them to give them their rights. So they give up a little bit of the profit, but then the leagues are not required to design or manufacture or market any of their own materials. They just get a revenue stream they don't have to worry about. So I don't like that. Where that could come into soccer is, we did a Parkside sponsorship with NWSL cards. Cards are still going crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Cards are still, obviously it's a bubble that will eventually burst, and I don't want to predict when, but clearly it will, because it always does. But soccer cards are really big right now. Soccer cards, men's, women's, European, MLS, not yet, but I feel like that's coming down the line. What doesn't Fanatics own? What won't they own? They are the evil Death Star of sports merchandise. I feel like the quality isn't very good of the shirts, like the in-store shirts that they make, the t-shirts and whatnot. I know that I purchased one of the Vamos por Mas t-shirts. I don't know if it's a Fanatics thing or something else, but I'll have one eventually, and I'll let you know how the quality is. But Cogsworth saying they miss the old DC United team store. I do too. Yeah. Man, I spent so much money in RFK in the team store. If I went back, it's probably like a non-minuscule part of my budget for whatever I was making back then. It was probably like 10% of what I made was being thrown right into that team store. Okay, that is a DC United run collection, no Fanatics affiliation. Good. So maybe it will not pill up or rip on me very quickly.
It is cool to see them do those types of things to
very
sort of
cool.
branch
do
out
it all the time.
Yeah,
man.
to latch onto something like Vamos por Mas and really sort of just kind of use it. So I am all for this notion of trying to do that. So,
and then 2 other quick things before we get started on our actual beat. Kristen Press coming to Angel City FC, big move, highest paid player in NWSL. It's notable, I think, to me, because basically what happened was in the expansion draft, Racing Louisville took the rights for Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, and everyone was like, "You absolute idiot sandwich! They're not going to play for you. They'll never play for you. You didn't even ask them if they wanted to play for you before they took them." That was the most recent. That was about a month ago when the coach there said, "We want to talk about players who want to play for us, so we're not talking about this anymore." And obviously people were like, "We didn't even talk to them." Well, the finesse of taking them was able to trade Kristen Press's rights, who was never going to play for them, for the 2022 first round draft pick for Angel City, and also protection in the expansion draft. So they were basically able to just defer their draft picks a year, get the team established, and make sure that no one was going to be taken from them the following year. Amazing. And they still have Tobin Heath's rights, and San Diego is a team that may be looking for her. So they might be able to get another first round draft pick out of this. So I think everyone that was dunking on them needs to maybe chill out and and eat a little crow on that. And then the last thing is Gotham FC's coach Freya Coombs, also hired by Angel City in the middle of the season. A lot of people were very upset about this. I didn't get it really necessarily why people were so upset. The situation there is that the season's still ongoing, right? And Angel City will be picking out who they're going to draft in the expansion draft. So there's some conflict of interest, but this happens frequently. Usually happens in the closed season. So after the year, they'll have a conversation about, after this year you'll come over. But it appears that there's going to be a faster transition here for Gotham. Gotham is doing well this season. They've had a much better season than in years past when they were Sky Blue. But there might be a coaching change here mid-season instead of just sort of letting it go at the end of the year like it was. So interesting. NWSL has had an interesting couple weeks, months, ever. They've always been interesting. Chaos continues at all times, but and that's not even just the Spirit. That's everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think we should. You sort of let in with some NWSL news. I think we should continue this and talk a little bit about what's been happening with the Washington Spirit off the field. We'll get to them.
There was another development. You're right.
Yeah. So Pablo Maurer, MLSist, also writer for the Athletic, reports that Washington Spirit President of Business Operations Lindsay Barnes parted ways. Mobile says Barnes was a participant in the recent investigation to Richie Burke and also raised concern about the club's recent sponsorship deal with IntelliBridge, a defense contractor. Oh boy, it is becoming increasingly. It is very much like this team just can't get out of its own way. They have an incredibly talented roster. The story should be about this team and the season, and instead it's about this. And I really don't know. I really don't know what else to say. It doesn't look good. I'm sure there's more to this story. There has to be more.
Yeah. I may have shot my shot in the DMs to see if she wanted to join the show. I didn't get a response. Can't believe it. But the Spirit have had a self-inflicted challenging couple weeks. There was also, I don't think we talked about this, Anson Dorrance, legendary UNC coach, women's coach, was brought on as an advisor to the team as sort of in a roster position. I don't know. It was not explained generally exactly what that was. So there was. I had to find this out after the fact. I didn't notice ahead of time. There was a settled sexual harassment suit against him and the university. I think it was 2019 or it was 2009 or 2019. Where there was sexual comments about. With the players, about the players, no misconduct individually with the players. It was not alleged that way, but it was the type of move you don't make right now, right? Like you have conversations about settlements and over time and people getting second chances, whatever. But like after the Richie Burke allegations, after all the things that have gone on at the Spirit, you would. Likely from a PR perspective, just from a saving yourself a little bit of a headache, you don't do that. You just steer clear from any sort of sniff of these issues, and instead, steering into the skid fully, they went a different direction. And then this Lindsay news, the jersey sponsorship, which you alluded to, it's tough. There's also, I don't think we talked about this either. There is a petition. I think Rose City Collective started a petition to buy the team from Steve Baldwin. This will not work for a couple reasons. One of them is that Tier 1 soccer in NWSL requires a single owner or a majority owner with a net worth of $20 million. So unless we've got some deep-pocketed folks, and maybe it's one of our Patreons, maybe one of you folks who generally give to the show are also sitting on $20 million, it will not happen. But it is certainly now, the temperature has been raised. The Spirit Squadron are chanting at games with allusions to what's been going on. So it's a whole big clown car of a mess right now off the field for the Spirit.
I was trying to figure out what why Michelle Kang's net worth was and whether if she took over.
Did she make it? Did she hit the?
I mean, she has apparently bought a $6 million condo in Palm Beach. So
probably did not use 40% of her net worth on that. So maybe it's possible.
I think this is a situation. Again, this is Steve Baldwin making this call, doing this move. I had forgotten about the Anson, that other story. That completely just blew past my mind, and everything like that. The sponsorship. I don't know. You're in DC. That just I feel like that runs with the territory. Team,
see Lidos, see. Yeah, that's kind of. That's where the money is in this town. Unfortunately, folks, that's who has the money for these.
It is, and I think if that comes out earlier this year, I don't know if it makes the headways it's making right now. I think the timing about it is where it's coming. And it's not saying it's not valid. I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm not saying that it is. It is not disappointing, considering everything with the league. I'll be curious. I'll be curious to see what happens. I don't think anything happens this season, but I'd be very curious. The meeting that Michelle, it wasn't Steve Baldwin meeting with the commissioner in Houston. It was Michelle Kang, and I think that speaks a little bit of volumes about what maybe she's thinking or what maybe the league is thinking as far as what action to take here. So I'll be very curious to see sort of kind of what happens and what comes about with this move and whether anything happens. I don't know. I feel like the Anson hire, if you are a organization that is organized, you make that and you say, hey, we believe he's changed. This is we believe in him. You have a press conference, you address the situation, but it's kind of like, oh, he's hired, and then you're like, hold on a minute, but there's this, and this, and it's like, nope, we're not talking about that. We're just going to keep moving on. So.
I can tell you that Michelle Kang gave $36,000 in the year 2016 for political donations, so you don't do that if you're poor, for certain. And that executives at her company are paid in the high ones to mid threes. So again, she's the CEO and owner, so probably above that. So it's possible, folks. It's entirely possible. It's about it, but it would be a situation on that end. All right, we have driven far down the road. Let's come back on these two games that have happened, one of which we're happy about and one of which we're not as happy about.
Let's eat our vegetables. Let's talk about the sad one.
Good idea.
Let's talk DC United falling 2-1 to Atlanta United. On the day, a rough game. I think combined, this game I think hurt a little bit more in my mind than previous games. I mean, obviously home games. Obviously, you don't want to lose those. In any case, you want to win all your home games. Do what you can on the road to get some points. This team is back in the. They're back in the. They might miss the playoffs. I mean that is the nature of what happened right now. I think they still stand a good chance. They got a lot of games left at home. They played well enough to get the win. Their expected goals, by the way, in case you're curious, according to FootMob, 2.10, 1.35 expected goals for.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I think with the misses for Ola and also the nature of Atlanta's goals, I think that is an entirely reasonable projection on that.
Yeah, I would have to look. I was trying to look see if I could find where Ola's goal was, like what the expected metric was with that, because that was a shot that went well over the bar, there for that goal from that angle. But it was a rough first half. I think the player that had the roughest time was Kevin Paredes, playing sort of the wing position. I think it was a tough game for him. I think he looked better once he slotted back to right back. And we will hold a little bit because we got Angus on the line, who wants to come in and talk a little bit. I don't know what he wants to talk about. Producer Brian,
we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Whatever you want, Angus.
Whatever you want, man. Floor is yours.
Hey, guys. I was just going to chime in about the game, the DC United game as well. Talk a little bit about that with you guys. I noticed because I was at the game and happened to be right where Ola Kamara skied that wonderful opportunity that he had in the first half. I think one of you guys who tweeted it during the game was right. I think the league is starting to figure out Ola Kamara and figure out how we want to get the ball to him. Which is fine when you have wingers like, I don't know, recently a Jordi Reyna or a Paul Arriola that can kind of take the ball and create space regardless. because Ola has said multiple times that he does not do that. He can't make chances out of nothing. He needs the service, right? So if you have wingers like in theory, a Paredes, a Reyna, Areola, then it creates that space because defenders now have to be honest to the wingers. But you look at our injury situation, and we're kind of SOL for when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Angus, tell the truth. Tell the truth. The problem here is that Pablo put the hex on Ola by asking him about the golden boot, and now Ola is forever mentally broken. That's the real problem here, I think.
Yeah, no, he's too in his head now. He's in his own head. He's thinking about it way too much.
We need some MSL to bail him out.
We need to bring back Quincy.
Yep.
We'll get him from Oakland. Yeah, no, I think it went well for a couple of people, right? I think Knaus finally coming back to the lineup. He's showing his rust, but it was a chance for him to get that rust off. He's been going through a lot lately, so I can't put any blame on him for his performance individually. Just him getting out on the field is kind of a victory in and of itself. Flores, while he can't shoot the ball, continued to find himself in good situations and get the ball to his feet and continue to create chances. I think Paredes needs to do better with the chances that he gets, but that's all part of the learning curve because he's still 18, right? I think. Which is, we forget that all three of the kids, right? Paredes, Moses, and Yao are all under the age of 19, which is baffling, but, that's fine. It let us know that Kempin really isn't it, even though he did have a couple of good saves. I'll give him credit for where credit is due. He did stop that one-on-one with Martinez. I think Martinez had a shocker of a game, which is a testament to our defense in some regard.
He's had a shocker of a season. Angus, before this game, he only had 8 shots in 13 games.
Yeah, right. And he had plenty of chances with the ball at his feet, but couldn't convert. And I think that shows that does give some sort of good things to our defense, which I might add is the barest of bare bones at the moment, especially with Andy getting called up for the World Cup qualifying. Please don't break him. We need to get Pines back. I think he's the closest of the center backs to being at full fitness because we don't even know what's going on with Briant at the moment. Although I didn't like Briant in that matchup anyways because his one minus is the fact that he is slow and very slow.
Say speed. Speed is not his game. You're right.
So if we remember the San Jose game and the Cade Cowell goal, I was very afraid of everyone on Atlanta doing the exact same thing to Freddie in that situation. But the goal was fantastic. Yordi continuing to find his footing and find his form with DC under Losada. Him and Flores still linking up very well from what I saw. Better than what I think we had hoped for. I know that they had been talking about how they've wanted to get on the field and playing together pretty much for their entire tenure at DC together, but it never really worked out. So finally getting to see that relationship come through on the field has been nice over the past couple of games as well.
Yeah, Edison Flores also got the call up for Peru. So we're going to be...
Yes, that's good.
It is good for him. Confidence-wise, absolutely. And maybe he comes back sort of even more firing on all cylinders when he does make it back here. But if he gets hurt there, I'm never gonna have my favorite Peruvian dish, lomo saltado, ever again. If he gets hurt there, that's my personal threat.
Hey, but other good news about DCU players going abroad and stuff. Sorga got a brace, so that's something to smile about.
Indeed.
We didn't bring that up in our news.
How did we not? So quickly, VVV Venlo, a second division Eredivisie side. I don't know if that's Eredivisie 2 or whatever they call it over there. Scored 2, I believe, both of them in the... I don't know. He was man of the match.
Stoppage time of halftime of the first half, and the second one was in the second half.
He also did an interview with... he has an interesting way of speaking English. I think the Estonian dialect of English it was very interesting to watch. Go find it. They posted it, I believe. We might have liked it. I don't know if we retweeted it. It's out there. It's something good for him. Confidence is great. I don't think he's coming back here. I think no matter what, this is about a sell on, and hopefully VVV, I believe is the way that they pronounce it. Hopefully they get promoted, and they're happy enough with him to buy him for at least the $1 million we paid for him.
Yes, exactly. That'd be great.
Yeah.
One last note that I had about the game, and probably a question for you guys as well. Why aren't we checking VAR again? Right? I thought for both sides of the game, right? You look at Atlanta or you look at DC, there were at least 2 opportunities where the center judge could have went to the small TV and at least looked it over. Whether or not he confirmed what the fourth official was telling him or not is, up to the imagination at this point. But I thought that was there in place for a reason, and apparently it just didn't get used on Saturday night.
They were out of tokens.
Yeah,
they have VAR tokens, and they were out of them.
I have watched the Joseph Martinez goal. I would say that was the one I had the most questions about, and I freezed it. Other than also the I think the Kempen got very, very fortunate in a lot of ways not to lose the not to lose a penalty there. I don't know if the referee just thought he had dragged the ball enough. I don't know, but I do think I think it was close on the offside. It was maybe it warranted a look. Maybe it was close enough that they.
It was like an Alfaro toe that put him on.
Yeah, it was
similar
it was really
to how
close.
Reyna had a goal called offside against, I believe, was it Cincinnati or Columbus in one of those away games where we were.
I think you're talking about.
saying,
Did Moses Nyman pick up a goal, or was it maybe? I thought Moses Nyman scored and it was offside.
It was Moses, yes. But it was Yordi who was offside earlier in the build-up that led to Moses' goal being ruled out. And it was a very similar situation where it's like benefit of the doubt. He should have been onside, but whatever. It's one of those situations, except it was the flip side of that coin, right? So, oh well. I mean, it was a goal. If you look at it, it's a goal, but I would have liked the center judge to at least gone over. It's a very close call when DC players are kicking the ball away from the center spot, pushing it back to Kempen like this is offsides, pointing to the video board and seeing it themselves. But
it's similar to when base runners. It's like when base runners don't leave the base after instant replay and they just stand there forever. So I think you're right.
Yep.
The DC obviously had a take on it, and the officials did not share it. So that's how it goes. Angus, thanks for calling, and I appreciate supporting the show and calling in.
Yep. See you guys. Please make it to
Take
the
care.
stadium this Saturday. It's going to be a great game.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Mario Maya in the press box for El Tiempo Latino said he was basically his seat was right in line with the defensive line, and he said from his perspective it looked offside as well. So the press box does have a kind like for that particular angle and that particular like it actually is a good spot for that. So either way, it didn't matter. Sometimes that happens. You gotta with the expected goals the way they were and the chances that the team spurned. Doesn't matter really.
Yeah, the team got themselves back. They got themselves back off a unbelievable goal from Yordi Reyna. I wish we had gotten to see it live. I'm sure the people in the stadium enjoyed it, but we did not. All we heard was the replay, and suddenly, Dave Johnson's getting really excited, and the ball's in the back of the net, and I look at it. Quite a funny moment. I thought that was almost like a designed play. But apparently it was. Apparently it wasn't. I saw Gressel coming in, and everybody kind of lifts up their like, calm down. I don't know. That seemed like a design play to me to like almost like throw off everybody, but apparently it wasn't. Apparently Gressel really wanted people to calm down, and he just slid the ball in the back of the net. I thought other than the goal, Yordi Reyna was excellent. Another player, I want to shout out because he was getting some flack when he was subbed in over Edison Flores. Drew Skundrich, I thought had an excellent game in that center field. He brings a lot of energy there. Had a really nice opportunity, almost got a goal. I actually forgot. I guess I got so just into like the fact that we gave up that goal. I forgot how many opportunities DC had. You had Edison Flores had a header, point blank.
Yep.
Does everything you're supposed to do. I mean, even some of the opportunities they had. I mean, they were opportunities that any other day I think go in the back of the net. Ola Kamara as well had a header that just grazed wide. I think he does everything right there. At least anything you can really point out to. He has the bad miss, yes. By the way, I would go back and look at that. I think I have to go back and find a replay. I think Gressel might have been a step offside, though maybe with how everything's been called. I think maybe that might have gone. That's what I'm telling myself, is that Gressel would have been ruled offside even if Ola Kamara had buried that. But still, Brad Guzan has had a good game. He made a couple nice saves. Made a really nice save on Felipe. Had an excellent opportunity to tie it up and at least rescue a point for this team.
That was the best chance probably in the late build-up. I think that was the one that could have gone in. Didn't work out, but
yeah,
good effort.
Yeah. But I guess what anything else you want to bring up from this game? Anything you noticed?
I think overall, this had sort of an early season feel. The missed opportunities were very, very haunting. The goals Atlanta scored were not great. The Atlanta was roasting us on the counter. That is what Atlanta does. That is what Atlanta has always done. They are extremely effective on the counter. The speed at which they break and the runs that their players make to create danger were on display, and we didn't really have an answer for it. I think the midfield to me seemed not as good as it normally was. I feel like they were not as Knaus is coming back from a long layoff and theoretically had no training up to that point, and just steps in and plays almost 90 at 80 something minutes. So I think we build back to that. I think maybe our next game is this weekend against Philly. Not a great dance partner for sort of a situation where we need some points. I think that this recent run has not helped us out very much. I believe we're now on 27 points, same as Atlanta. So you're not in a panic situation mode right now, because this team was never going to challenge, despite our comments when things went really well. We're not really going to be a top 1, 2, or 3 side on the East. So now we're still we got to stay in the conversation. I think we're still 8th. Is that right?
7th.
So we're there.
In the playoffs. We're in the playoffs.
We're in there right now. So it's just a matter of continuing to accumulate, a cup, try get to your point of game, get into that range, and then you can feel more comfortable about where you're at.
I think it's, I guess a question for you. This team finishes 8th. Let's just assume that happens. What's your level? Because you're disappointed. I think at this point, the course of the season, the expectation for this team should be to make the playoffs right now. They have done enough to make to warrant the idea that they can make the playoffs. And I think that's a reasonable expectation for this team. But if they miss it, what's your level of disappointment?
I would, I think it's different territory now where we're almost for sure not going to talk about the coaching and not going to say Losada out. So that's a different perspective of how upset are you and what's your course of action and what are you saying needs to be done. I think it's clear. Hernan has said it 100 times. Anyone looking at this roster can see it. Investment would be good. There is some dead wood to be cleared. There are some positions that can be strengthened. Like you said, we would be, based on where we're at now and the type of soccer we have seen, you would be disappointed for this team not to make the playoffs. But I think and we've said it from the beginning of the year, he has taken the ingredients that he had in the cupboard and made what he wanted to make. Right? He has turned this team into a pressing juggernaut with the players who you might not have picked to do that. Right? So I think that I would be upset that they didn't make it. It would seem to be, something went wrong here in the last couple months, really wrong. Maybe the injuries were just too much. Whatever else, I am not hitting the panic button. I would, I'll be as loud as I always am in the offseason about we gotta spend money this year. We gotta spend money this year. Now it's time to do that. Particularly if, for instance, we are all on the Ola Kamara hype train. Everyone is. If he goes as cold as he was hot for the rest of this season, Hernan will be standing on top of a large wooden box with a megaphone saying, "You need to give me a striker that will convert, greater than 50% of his chances, or I am going to lose it."
Yeah.
So that's where I'd put it. What about you?
I would be disappointed. I would not be Hernan out, obviously. Not going to do that. But that would be marked as an extreme disappointment, considering how well this team has managed injuries, how well this team has managed to put themselves in a pretty good position to make. Right now, we're still in the playoffs. I think they can beat Philly. Philly is not the juggernaut they were last season or even the juggernaut they were now, and they've played them pretty well. And I think this could be a moment for them. They get a week break, and really all your attention is on this game, is on trying to get yourself back into the win column, to get yourself back into points. You've played this team fairly well. You've deserved more than what you've gotten when you've played them. And I want to see them go out and get 3 points in this game and really sort of put themselves back in the column. They still do have a majority of their games at home. They have 8 remaining games at home and 5 on the road. And even their road games, against Toronto, is one that comes to mind. Their home games are Cincinnati, Minnesota, Nashville. Some tough games mixed in there, obviously. New York's they got a road game against New York. I think that's a winnable game because New York have not looked very, very sharp. So I think the point is, you get a 2-week break. Hopefully everybody stays healthy during the international break. Please, everybody stay healthy during the international break.
They have 6 games in October.
Yep.
Holy smokes, folks! You better hope that everyone is rested and you have a bench that you can rotate in, because that's going to be that's the gauntlet right there. That's where we're actually. There are a lot of games left though. Overall,
yeah.
MLS is wild. Like there is so much more season to play here, and I think if we can, it's long enough where Brendan Hines maybe does get back by the end of the year. Maybe Nigel Robertha is getting close.
Yeah,
Donovan Pines is getting close. Bill Hamid is getting close.
Yeah, we should notice how many people were at the stadium or have watched the stream. They showed Nigel Robertha, Donovan Pines, and Bill Hamid participating in warm-ups in a certain ways. Donovan Pines out there running, Nigel Robertha out there running. He posted on I think he posted on Instagram. He was out, with his shirt off running in DC. I'm going to go ahead and
Who is
assume.
this?
Nigel Robertha on his Instagram.
Nigel was also in City Center, like flexing in front of his new car with the 90-day tag on it. So he was really having himself a DC weekend.
Yeah, I think it's going to be important. And Paul Arriola, so far, we haven't. If it was a longer term injury, we would have heard. So I am hopeful. I'm not sure if he is going to be back. I am not sure if he is going to be back next week. But I would say maybe by the 11th he should be back. So that's very, very good news. Good news that it's not there. And I kind of thought that because he pulled up and maybe he was like, I'm out 50-50 whether I can go. And I think he's like, you know what? I'm taking myself out. I don't want to be missing. I'd rather just go off, rest it up, and then we'll hit it again. So hopefully that is. It seemed like that was better news than we thought. So that's very, very good because, like I said, only 10 minutes of your actual designated players out there. And they connected for a goal. So I'd be curious to see when he gets in there. Obviously, Bill Hamid coming back is going to be big. Chris Seitz apparently making an Instagram post, too, maybe hinting that he's going to play on Saturday.
Yeah, he had been quiet until he wasn't. So I think what you normally see when there's either a backup goalkeeper or a bench player, when all of a sudden they start posting a practice picture, usually means they're about to play.
Yeah,
usually, because otherwise they're like, this sucks. I hate social media.
And maybe it was or not sort of giving Kempin every single opportunity because I don't think you can blame him. You can't blame him for what happened in the game against Atlanta. Also, I don't think he really showered himself in glory on Martinez's goal. He does a weird thing when he comes out. He comes out and tries to shimmy and then sits down. He made a save at one point, but it wasn't exactly what you want when you're, facing. I don't know. It was weird. I thought maybe he could have done maybe a little better on Martinez's goal. I'm not going to put it on him, but again, just not. He made a couple good saves, but he hasn't really been. You don't leave that game thinking, oh, absolutely should be the starter.
I think, like you said, he didn't make any saves he wasn't supposed to make. He has not. He's other than maybe the save on the break on Martinez was the one that you would say that's a harder than expected save. Other than that, he's not done it, and that's why Bill Hamid is so integral to this team. Yes. Is that this is not a team that pinches off all chances and that their defense just suffocates opportunities so much. The fact that the goalkeeper is almost a secondary figure.
And this is a league where you need that because the rosters are so top heavy. You need a goalkeeper that's going to give you some saves that's going to keep you in games, because you're going to have a lot more salary coming at you offensively than you have set up defensively to prevent it. So, that's really important. It's important to have a good goalkeeper that can get you those wins. That's why New England's in the place, because they have Matt Turner, who's playing excellent. That's why Seattle has a couple of good goalkeepers they've managed to rotate through. That's kept them in games. Even LA has Jonathan Klinsmann coming up, making incredible saves.
How wild is that, by the way?
Very wild. Very, very wild.
It is the thing that drives home your mortality when the young children of people that you were knew in a different capacity are like playing professionally. It's not. I don't like it. It's no good. But anyway, I think we're this not a must-win game against Philly, but you want to see at least a point, right? You got to see a change in the luck a little bit here.
You want to win. You want to. I'm going to go ahead and say I think this is a must-win. This is a not lose. I'm going to go ahead and say a not lose. We can't lose this game, I think. And I know would it mathematically put them out of the playoffs? Sure.
No.
But I think it would. I think it would. It is important, because then you're entering a 2-week break on a 4-game losing streak. It's never a good thing to be. And then you got a road game. You got to go to New York, who I think you can pick up points against, but you want a little bit more momentum heading into that break. We shall see what happens on Saturday night. It is also United Night Out, I believe. So definitely check that game out if you have the ability to travel to DC. Definitely go.
And if you're here, participate here in the poll about is this game a must-win? This upcoming game. I'm curious what the viewers think. Just to wrap up the chat here a little bit on the game. Some folks would like, and I'm with this now. The shopping investment would like to be a creative number 10 or more child-friendly start times, 5 p.m. games, please. I had the start time for the game that I'm about to talk about. The Spirit game is 4:00 game. Fantastic. I'm able to go. I'm able to come back and still be there to put my daughter to sleep. So like A+ as that guy. I'm all about that. Plus, traffic's better anyway. So let's transition here to the Spirit game on Sunday.
Yep.
They played the Pride again. They played the Pride seemingly a million times, every time finishing 1-1. They didn't finish 1-1 this time. 2-1, a 2-1 victory for the Spirit. They rocket, I believe, up into third in the standings from 6th or 7th. So we've talked about it already. Portland is at the top, and they've got a good margin. Casey's at the bottom, and they've got a good margin, and then everybody else is within about 5 points. So it's a wacky thing where a couple wins can really put you in a good position. And then finally, the Spirit got that. They've had a rough go. We've talked about the reasons why off the field. Did not help the performance on the field. But just to sort of, I think the big notable fact off the bat of this game is that the Olympians were back. Mm-hmm. Kelly O'Hara, Emily Sonnet, and Julia Rotter were back on the bench, did not start. Sari Takarada, who had been back previously, started again, continues to play well. But it was interesting to sort of see how they were going to integrate these players in. The challenge, I think, for Chris Ward is that some of these players who have deputized for the Olympians have done very, very well. Anna Helferty is, to me, one of the better players in the team right now as far as the level of danger she's bringing to the attack. Basically, I would say I'd rate her to the level when Tegan was really crushing it, maybe in the Challenge Cup or previously when she had a good run before injuries. She's doing that well. She's being very, very dangerous. Her passing efficiency is very, very high in the league. Even that's like in the top 20% in the league. So I'm a stan. So I have to put that hat to the side. But so we'll get in the game. I feel like Ashley Hatch has had a very rough run for the last few games. We've talked about how FootMob doesn't matter, but she has had very, very poor ratings of FootMob, has not been getting the ball, has been marginalized completely, and the chances have not been falling for her. She was up for it in this game. She was a little bit isolated, I think, in the beginning of the game. I would say it not necessarily played to a stalemate for the first 45, but certainly not very dynamic. As the game expanded, I think humidity didn't help. But as the game continued, that's where really the chances started to fly. First half was scoreless, but they had 60% possession in the first half. They were the more dangerous team. They just weren't able to convert. just trying to. I'm not going to rock through the whole game, but I think that Trinity Rodman continues to be Trinity Rodman. Amazingly,
I feel like she had the entire game. I think she got like at least 2 or 3 opportunities where she got the ball in space, either through a long pass, used her speed, got into position from a acute angle, and missed about a couple times or put it wide or had
hit the post twice.
Hit the post twice, had it saved, and then the one time she decides, nope, I'm going to hold up and see who I can find. Oh, look, there's Ashly Sanchez.
And that even on that play, and we'll talk about that. Like that was still an interesting choice for her. It was a. I think tactically she didn't have a great game. Her physical gifts continue to allow her to just drop into the game and create havoc. She's got for fear of talking to hammering the cliche, she has ability to take the game over in small spurts, and most players don't have an answer for her speed and physicality on the wing. She can dribble past people very quickly. Her decision making, I think, what was questionable. I think trying to go near post over and over again on Ashlyn Harris is not a great one to me. I think particularly because you have the league's leading goal scorer sort of available as a square ball within 6 yards, and I think that after a certain point, Ashly Hatch was getting a little frustrated, sort of throwing her arms up and not very happy with the way things went. Notable absence from the first half of the game was our friend Ashly Sanchez, who I guess was feeling under the weather for the first 45 and then came out for the second half and made a huge difference. Immediately, I think I called it out on Twitter. I was like, this game is aching for an Ashly Sanchez. The midfield is completely being bypassed. It wasn't a game the way that the Spirit would have drawn up. So for the goals, Kelly O'Hara crosses into the box after she subbed on. All the Olympians are subbed on at half, except for Rotter. I believe she didn't play, if I'm correct, on used substitute. Did not play. She crosses the ball in from the left. A horrible clearance by the Pride, sort of like a falling backwards clearance, rolls 3 feet to Ashly Hatch, and she does not miss from there.
Tucks it away.
Tucks it away. Easiest goal she scored all year. And then you thought, all right, well, that's great. The Spirit now are. I'm sorry, actually, I had it reverse order. Marta opened up the scoring on a great goal, puts Andy Sullivan on skates, pushes past her, finds the far post off the inside, rolls it in. You're like, well, yeah, Marta's going to do that. A, Marta always scores against the Spirit. B, you cannot allow that much space. Obviously, Andy tried to check, but she got past her very, very easily. And Aubrey had no. If it hits the post and goes in, you've nothing you're gonna do about it. If you're not a 7-foot goalkeeper, that was not going to be saved, unfortunately for you. But after that, obviously, very short after, 2 minutes later. So basically, the inverse of the normal Spirit problem, where they score and then concede. They turn the tables on the Pride this time, and Ashly Hatch scored there. The game continued. All Spirit for the rest of the game, sort of looking for that second goal. It came in the 89th minute, similar to Trinity Rodman's 89th minute goal. They always seem to happen here at Audi Field. I think the Spirit record at Segra is 1-0-5 or 1-0-4, something very bad. But here at Audi, they try to make it exciting at the end of games. If you watch it, Ashly Sanchez wins the ball right outside of her own box, plays the ball to Tori while she's on her butt, gets the ball wide to Trinity. Trinity runs down the right wing. It's a 2-on-2 at that point. Ashly Hatch makes a run. He is very available, very open within the 6. I'm not yelling in the press box, but in my head, I'm yelling in the press box saying, square the ball, just square it, just tuck it in, easy goal.
She had Ashly Hatch running, like literally saying, play me, I'm right here.
Right.
Like, I'm right here.
I'm not some joker. I have 6 goals this year. Give me the ball. But she doesn't. She plays it to the top of the box. Ashly Hatch takes a touch, moves to the left, and then I got to be goal of the week. I've not seen yet what it looks like for what Twitter says. Is it on there?
I think Marta's would have been goal of the week, and then Ashly Sanchez just pulls that.
She stole it.
Yeah.
Upper 90, curls it over. Ashly Harris had no chance to save it in the 89th minute, scores the goal. Crowd goes crazy. Spirit hold on for the victory, and a much, much, much needed victory. I think I talked about it. I didn't take a picture on Twitter, but after the game, there was a big circle in the middle of the field. All the players, staff, sort of really celebrating. I think Trinity was spraying water at everybody. Everyone was really, really happy. Sam Staub did a triple backflip in front of the supporter section. So they needed it. They really, really, really needed it. And they got it. And I think it's great. It's great for their mentality. It's great for them sort of breaking this sort of run of bad form, because it doesn't get any easier in the NWSL. They've got the courage on Sunday, so a week from their last game at Audi Field again. So they have beaten them this year in Audi Field. So they're going to hope to do that again. That game was wild. That game had no Olympians for the courage, and their offense looked very toothless. We'll see what goes on here for them on Sunday. But great performance. I know you got to watch sort of the end of the game. Any sort of things stand out for you in the big picture situations?
I mean, from all the things going on off the field with the team and the fans, it is good to see that, the players still very much feel like they're a unit. You're not seeing what happens. They're able to sort of put the distractions behind them. I think it's an important win. Like I said, moving up the standings, very, very tight. I'm trying to decide which season's tighter. It's whether it's NWSL or League One. Go look at the League One, USL League One standings if you want to see teams 3 through 9 all tied on 24 points.
Wow,
fun. It's wild. It's like literally going to double tiebreakers for total wins and goal differential.
That's cool.
But I mean, overall, I think it's good to see them get the win. I think that was they have squandered so many games on last minute opportunities. I was worried this was going to be it. I was worried they were going to lose. Yes, Ashly Hatch gets to the goal. Like, great. Pride had some opportunities. Had some opportunities in this game. I think the Spirit outplayed them, but we've seen time and time again this team outplay their opponent and lose it at the end. And we've seen it. They lost the 2-0 at Houston. I was worried this was going to be another incident like that. And then Ashly Sanchez pulls something out of her hat. I really hope. We have talked.
Sir Michael Jordan game. I think it was like her flu game. She didn't have a good first half. She was wherever she was dealing with whatever she had to do, and then came out and won the game.
Yeah. I think it was mightily important as far as this team getting sort of taking back some of the narrative that's been sort of surrounding this team. Not completely taking it away, but just kind of wrestling it back and bringing something positive to the Spirit and really underselling how much I think fans and everybody wants this team. They believe in the team that's been built and what's there and the pieces that are there. Yes, they maybe need a couple more pieces, but they believe in what's there. There is a very, very talented young team. And I think a lot of fans are just kind of hoping this stays together. And I think this game, is emblematic of that. You have your two most exciting stars link up on an amazing goal to win the game at the end. And those are the types of moments that I got, watching this team make that run to the championship. And I am petrified that all the off-field drama that also came with that team is gonna leak its way into this team, and we're gonna have to basically start over again. And that would be very, very sad for this podcast, which loves to watch teams that are good and teams winning.
Just a quick rein on the parade. North Carolina Courage have won their last 3 coming into Sunday. Their goal differential is +13. The Spirits is 1. Just so you get an idea of how crazy the top end of the table is. Both the Thorns and North Carolina have a 13 goal differential, sitting on 27 points. And it's I would say North Carolina has been much worse away. They're 3-2-2 versus 8-4-3 at home. I'm sorry, 5-2-1 at home and 3-2-2 away. This is going to be a tough challenge. That now the Spirit have mostly their full complement of defenders available. Defense has sort of been the leaky boat for a while. They've had a rough go of it. I think that earlier on in the season they were much tighter than they have been. So I'm hoping to see how that goes. Emily Sonnet looked great. Emily Sonnet looked absolutely fantastic. Chris Ward said that he believes her best position is center back. And not left back or defensive midfielder. So I don't know what that means for Paige or Sam. At the beginning of the year, it meant Sam was on the bench. So that's something to watch, a selection headache potentially. But if she plays as well as she did coming back from the Olympics, I think she's an auto start, particularly for a defense that has been leaking some goals. Mm-hmm. So Kelly O'Hara, I'm not sure how fit everyone is as far as their how many minutes they could put on their legs, sort of so close coming back. But we at least now have our full complement of players coming in. So we'll see. I'm generally you got to be somewhat optimistic because of the way it went before. Sam Ewis is injured, I believe, and is not available. So there's that. So we still they didn't have Sam last time they came, and they won't this time. So that's a potentially good thing. They'll have Dabinia, they'll have Jess McDonald, they'll have Lynn Williams. So there's no shortage of opportunities for North Carolina to score. It's just a matter of how dangerous can we be in attack? Can we not necessarily leave it so late? And what happened in the last matchup between North Carolina and the Spirit is the Spirit attacked them from the start, and they didn't set out to soak up North Carolina pressure and hit them on the counter. They just said, we're going to go at you from minute one. We're going to dribble past everybody, and we're going to be confident, and it worked. And they beat them 2-0, I believe was the score. I don't know that you're going to see that same situation now with all the Courage players back in. But maybe you'll see just a high-scoring game in general, because I don't think they're going to keep the Courage off the board. It's just a matter of can the Spirit turn up the heat a little bit on the offensive side. It's going to be a good game. Got to go see that one. Obviously, we mentioned United Night Out this weekend, but if I'm picking one of the two games to go to as far as like fireworks on the field, this is a key matchup and one you should absolutely get your butt to Audi if you can and check out.
Yep, absolutely, pack that stadium. Pack it. I guess with that, that should just about do it. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we got the All-Star game coming up. Kind of excited about that. MLS All-Stars, League MX All-Stars. I'm excited about. I'm going to watch the All-Star game.
Well, of course we'll watch it. Yes. I am very glad that no United players will be potentially injured in it. I think that's a plus.
I hate that. When have you ever seen a player get injured in an All-Star game?
I mean, it can happen. It's like it's most injuries don't happen because of contact. They just happen because muscles explode.
No. I am the exact opposite. I want my players in the All-Star game. Number one, it adds interest. I'm kind of surprised MLS doesn't figure out a way they can maybe force it or have, I know you got some bad teams out there, but usually you've got one or two good players because it's the way to drive interest in going. I have fond memories of when Ben Olsen coached the All-Star team and you had players like Di Rosario in there. That's all, to my opinion, it's all overblown. Everybody's out there.
I don't even want international teams to steal my players. I don't want my club players to only injure themselves playing for my team. That is how I feel about it.
Anyway, highlight you should definitely watch is the skills competition. I am putting a call out to everybody to watch that because I love this. It's goofy fun. It's all about having fun. They did it in 2019, and
Wayne Rooney was in it. I remember that.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney was in it. I think it was like a week before he announced he was done. So that was
what did it. He was like, "This is ridiculous. I'm out of here."
maybe, but I am very much a fan of the All-Star game. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this. Gonna do it for the show. Guys, thank you so much for watching, listening, checking us out. You guys are awesome. And we will catch you guys, I don't know, but next week, who knows?
At least for sure on Monday. Probably for sure
on Monday. Vamos.
Vamos.